Hello, everyone. Welcome to the seventh episode of Conversations with T. This is T speaking, and today's guest is someone who's actually a relative of mine. Even though she's my cousin niece, I do consider her to be like my cousin, as we're the same age and we're quite similar when it comes to personality, and we do get along pretty well with each other. Her father is my paternal cousin, but he's a lot older than me, so yeah. Have you been, Samha?
Hi, T. Thank you for inviting me here today. I've actually been pretty good, but I'm already missing the Eid holiday and the traffic bureaus in Dhaka. But back to reality now, sadly, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do understand where you're coming from. One of the things which I wish could just disappear from here is the horrendous traffic. Yeah, it's just so draining. I can't even. For today's episode,
Yeah.
yeah, for today's episode, I actually wanted to speak to you about a topic which the both of us feel quite strongly about, and that is judging others. Yeah, honestly,
Mhm.
being judged, it's not a nice feeling. I know because I felt judged by many people in the past. It can really damage your self-esteem and you start believing things about yourself which aren't true. A person can become so insecure about him or herself that they become easy targets for the wrong people to abuse or take advantage of them. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like even when you know you're doing the right thing or you're confident about yourself, like being judged takes that away from you because you then start doubting yourself. And another thing that I have noticed is that you don't tend to share your feelings with other people because you know that you will be judged for it. And so the problem with that is most of the time we just want people to just listen to us and understand us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, when we are sharing our feelings. But however, when people are judging you for that, it really invalidates your feelings, right? And and then you start questioning yourself, which leads to self-doubt.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, like people also judge you a lot when you make a mistake. Like even if it's a simple mistake, like isn't it better and more helpful to correct somebody's mistake instead of just standing there judging and laughing at that person? Like, after all, we are all human beings, right? And we are prone to make mistakes, and that's okay. Like, we should help each other and help each other grow instead of pulling them down.
I agree with you on that. In the past, I felt judged by certain practicing Muslims. I'm Muslim. I'm Muslim and I pray. I fast during the month of Ramadan. I don't do drugs. I don't go clubbing, etc. But there are some things which I do struggle with. Just like how everyone else has their own struggles, I have mine. Um, those practicing Muslims said things and behaved in a certain way which really put me off. As a result, started to become more wary of befriending practicing people, and I felt more comfortable with hanging out with sinners. I mean, I felt more accepted and included by people who didn't pray 5 times a day, who abused drugs, had relationships before marriage, went clubbing, and didn't even look Muslim, which was sad. They they treated me like a normal human being, and they respected the fact that I didn't do the things that they did. They never made me feel bad for not doing things which were against my religion. I also found that they at least knew how to respect other people and not make such crazy assumptions about them. There was one instance, for example, when someone mentioned how a non hijabi shouldn't be married because she will raise her daughter to be a prostitute. Yeah,
What?
I became so angry after I heard that. Yeah, what nonsense is this? Yeah, even though he said how not every non-hijabi is like that, in my mind, I was like, BS. What was he trying to imply? That every woman who does not wear the hijab automatically becomes a whore? And what about the ones who are more conservative? The ones who do pray, the ones who fast, the ones who give charity, etc. do all of their good qualities get thrown out the window just because they're falling short in one thing? Yeah, man, I don't know about you, but I honestly can't tolerate such stupidity and narrow-mindedness.
That's just so horrible. Like, I really don't understand this kind of people. And I'm sorry you had to face that, and it's absolutely not right. And it's crazy to think how many religious people are out there who are the most judgmental people than anyone ever. And it's sad because religion, sorry,
Oh, no, no, go on, go on.
no, I mean, I was saying that it's sad because religion doesn't teach us to belittle other people, right?
Yeah.
Like, rather, it encourages us to be sincere advisors and to be gentle towards each other.
Mm.
But I feel like the problem is that many practicing Muslims take a word or a sentence from the Quran without any context at all and use it to fit into their own narrative. And
Yeah.
that's extremely dangerous, right?
Mm.
And they do not read the Quran to understand it, but just to read it. And then, and when you read something without trying to truly understand the meaning of it or the meaning behind it, you start to put your own meaning in it. And then you become biased.
Exactly, yeah.
So, mhm. A lot of religious people are like that, sadly. And I feel like it makes it easy for them to say or do extreme things and be more judgmental than non-religious people because, you know, yeah.
It's it's so easy for us to assume something about someone and then throw labels at them after just seeing them for the first time. We don't, however, know their story. We don't see the bigger picture. We don't ask ourselves questions like, did something happen that led this individual to behave this way, or is this person trying their best to make changes but maybe they're not quite getting there? The point that I'm trying to raise is that we should make excuses for other people and give them the benefit of the doubt, generally speaking. Who i mean who are we to look down on someone whose struggles are different from ours? If we keep expecting other people to be like us, I mean, yeah, we're not only going to be disappointed, but we're also going to be unfair. I mean, I may struggle with something which another person might not see it, to be that big of a deal, and vice versa. We we shouldn't we shouldn't pretend that we know everything about someone just by looking at their outer appearance. We don't know their story.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, as cliche as it sounds, you really should not judge a book by its cover. Like,
Hmm.
when we assume something about somebody that easily, we take away the opportunity from ourselves to truly get to know that person. And each of us have our own external or internal struggles, right? That that we deal with every single day. So
Yes.
please don't be that person who adds to other people's struggles and be mean and judgy. That's not right.
Exactly. One thing which I find so annoying about our society is that people gossip so much. Seriously, I don't care about what so and so wore at some dumb party or how much money another person is making. I mean, how is that going to benefit me? You tell me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel like most people are competing with each other these days, and it's so toxic, like honestly. Um, I remember a friend of mine once told me this, that they feel like our society lives inside a bubble and how everything is quite repetitive.
Hmm.
And I 100% agree with that. And um, I've realized that this makes it harder for many people to leave the bubble and move away from the toxicity, the gossiping, the unnecessary dramas, the unhealthy competition amongst each other, etc., etc. You know?
Yeah. People are competing for the wrong things, unfortunately. From what I've seen
Yeah.
personally, yeah, they have to have the most money, the fanciest wedding ceremonies, the flashiest cars, the biggest houses, the most extravagant clothes and jewelries, and even the quote unquote coolest crowd to be associated with. Almost everything has become a competition, which is sad. So much money becomes wasted for very selfish reasons. I want you to imagine something now. You know how much money people in our society spend on their wedding programs, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. What if that same amount of money was spent towards feeding the poor, taking care of orphans, cleaning the environment, or even educating underprivileged children? And like think like, can you see the difference? Like, this is what we
Yeah.
this is what
Yeah.
we should do. This is what our country needs, not what we see happening before our own eyes.
Yeah, like I mean, it's not wrong to own or do those things. I mean, you worked hard to earn it, so you do you. But when it turns into competition, it becomes unhealthy and toxic, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, and weddings are, I feel like weddings are becoming more and more extravagant each year. You can still have, I mean, you can still have a fancy wedding and also have the poor at the same time, but a lot of people don't do that, you
Exactly.
know?
Exactly. Another problem with all of that is that it becomes it becomes harder for, to find people who are genuine. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I absolutely. I've always been extremely selective of who I associate myself with. Like, it's so hard to find genuine people, especially these days. And like, I feel like I'm very fortunate to have found my friends when I was in my university. Like, it's amazing to think how like all of us are in on different paths of life now. Like one of them even got married last year, and that's crazy. And we've all become busy with different things, yet we're still so close. And even if we don't get to talk to each other or hang out like before, we still make sure to update each other about any big news or good, like whether it's good or bad. And I feel like it's amazing. And I've always struggled to relate to other people. I've always struggled with that. And ever since I was in, like I was a child, and but now I'm really grateful. I got to know my friends with whom I can truly relate to and share my feelings and secrets without being judged,
Oh,
you know? And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, I really appreciate them. And like they are the most genuine people I know. So I'm
Oh.
really lucky.
I too ended up meeting better people when I went abroad for university, both in America and London. One of the things which, okay, I'm gonna go, uh, okay, I think I'm gonna go off topic for
Yeah.
but bear with me, just hear me out. Uh, One of the things which I enjoyed during my uni years was receiving gifts from people from different parts of the world. When I was a freshman, for example, I befriended this girl from Saudi Arabia, and she was actually a postgraduate student. After winter break was over, she bought me gifts from her country. She gifted me with a beautiful prayer gown, a prayer mat, and a cover for keeping up a copy of the Quran. I also met and befriended another girl, and she was from Kuwait. She was a PhD student, so she was a lot older than me. She gave me a prayer gown, a copy of the Quran, a necklace, and a bracelet with the letter T in Arabic. A girl from Pakistan, after spending a summer in her country, she gifted me with this gorgeous bracelet, a traditional dress, a small handbag, and this beautiful pair of shoes. And another girl, she was from Thailand. She was also an international student like me. She gave me this cute notebook along with the pink waffle maker, and she knew pink was my favorite color, and that was honestly so thoughtful of her.
Oh, that's really sweet. That's really sweet. And okay, so do you still have the waffle maker? Because if you do, you have to make waffles for me when I come over.
I I think I think I it's still in I think it's still in America, but I don't think I have it with me right now. But it was so cute. I really appreciated that gift.
That's sweet. Are you still in touch with any of them?
Well, I do have them on social media, but we're all busy,
Yeah.
most of them on social media, but yeah, we're mostly busy, and I think it becomes hard for us to really keep in touch since we're doing different things, we're in different time zones, and you know how it is, right?
Yeah, I totally understand. I totally get it.
And
The reality of being adult growing up.
yeah, yeah. And now that I now that I look back, living abroad, it was an interesting experience. I actually lived by myself for 2.5 years. Now, when I said lived by myself, I mean living in a flat with no roommates or family. It was just me. Despite, yeah, even though I was lonely sometimes and I did miss home, I felt as though I grew as an individual, meaning I became more mature and contemplative.
Hmm.
I personally think that living alone for some time can be a great thing for your growth. You may learn new things about yourself which you hadn't noticed before, and you can use these new discoveries to your advantage. I mean, you can use them to polish your strengths and work and to continue working on your weaknesses. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree with you here. I'm glad I also had the opportunity to live alone as well. Though I lived in a dorm with a roommate, but
Mm,
still, like, and I learned so many new things about myself during that time. And it also helped me to grow and do things out of my comfort zone. And I learned to appreciate and enjoy my own company, which I think is very important.
mm,
And sometimes, like sometimes I would go and watch a movie at the theater alone, or enjoy a nice cup of tea at a cafe by myself, or explore the city a little bit, and etc. And okay, so I'll tell you this weird thing about me.
okay, go on, go on.
I don't know why, but I really love going to the grocery store.
Really?
And I love going to a grocery store alone and just look at random stuff and, if there's any new products or, and like even if I don't need to buy anything, I still like going there and just look around and enjoy my time alone. You know, these are some of the things that I never thought that I would do alone before going abroad. And
Mm.
uh, like slowly like living by myself, I learned to enjoy my own company. And
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
For me, I think um, even now, I would love to go to a bookstore by myself and just sit down, have a cup of coffee, or maybe a or some dessert, and just read a book or or work on a project. Cafes are so chill. Like honestly, I think yeah, that's my favorite place to hang out, or maybe a bookstore. Um,
Yeah, me too, actually. I love going to a cafe and do my work, do my presentation, and work on my project.
yeah. It's getting late, so I think we'll call it a day. Thank you so much, Samha, for being my guest, and it was really fun chatting with you. I hope you have a great evening. Thank you and take care.
Thank you so much for having me, and I really enjoyed I enjoyed our chat. And yeah, good evening, and take care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.